I think one of the biggest tragedies in our world today is that people's ears are way too soft. You can't talk about the truth without somebody getting offended. You'd think that today, in the information age, where we all have access to more information than back in the day, that people could only say, well, if what you're saying is actually true, I'm going to go ahead and find out for myself. Instead, you get statements like, yeah, just what the world needs, another hate video, where you actually cite another, technical expertise talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro CPU. That's all I did. I literally went to the Digital Foundry's video where they talked about the CPU limitations, which is something that had been talked about before the PS5 Pro came out when the specs first leaked. And I pointed out, hey, this is where the challenge is going to be. Everybody knows that this is where the challenge is going to be. But instead, what you get is, oh, another hate video. Again, I made another, video where I talked about PlayStation is gearing up, the players for PC, seeing as its hardware is shifting and becoming more and more like PC. To that, I got another comment where somebody said, PC fanboys are as much hypocrites as console fanboys because the overwhelming majority has no idea about hardware and software alike. Actually, Sunny Sundries, what you're saying is exactly what we've been saying for the longest time. A lot of console players pretend to know about hardware and they come off with confident, ignorance. And this is what, for the most part has caused a lot of friction in the community. You can call us PC fanboys or whatever it is, but the reality is, when you think about it, it's the console players right now that have found themselves in a position where they're defending the exact same things that many of them have criticized about the PC platform. I don't want to tinker with settings. They're giving you more settings. I don't want to do this. They're giving you more of that. I don't want to worry about upgrading my hardware. They've given you two more options. In fact, the PS5 Pro is the most innovative PC solution masking itself as a console right now, because not only that, it's now giving you the ability to be able to go ahead and upgrade not just one, but two hardware components on the unit. Now, again, this is good. I don't even know why. I mean, I think, you see, this is so weird because the good things that we've been talking about the PC platform are now coming to consoles. And somewhere, somehow, the console fans want to say this is a bad thing in a weird way, but you're going to be enjoying it. You see, I think what it is many console players, you've boxed yourself into a corner. This is why when you argued so hard against something that you didn't see coming, or maybe you saw it coming and you were in denial, and here you are, you're going on Amazon looking up the prices of NVMe just as I am to add to your PC that is boxed and branded as a console. You're in the same boat now. Welcome to the PC wannabe, fanboyism. That's pretty much what it is. Another one said, and this is the funniest comment of all of them. This was actually very interesting. I made a video where I said, the PlayStation 5 Pro is old technology. It defeats the case of anybody on PC being envious of, the PS5. That's what a lot of the, PlayStation, HyperFans say. PC players are this. PC players are, hypocrites. PC players are jealous of the PS5. They're obsessed with the PS5. And it's like, guys, it's old hardware. Any PC, even a PC from any generation, has the capability to become modern because you can swap out your components. The PlayStation 5 is locked it's locked forever. The PlayStation 5 Pro, locked forever. That's why they had to make you an entirely different SKU to be able to see the advancements. You don't need it on the PC side. You just literally make the upgrade. This comment was funny. They said, all I see is a PC fanboy trying to cope because the PS5 Pro is closing the gap. My dude, the PS5 base already represented exactly what a console can look like if it dialed into being more PC-like. Like, I don't understand how many PlayStation fans were sleeping when they realized that what the PS5 Pro is delivering is what the base PS5 should have had at launch. See, y'all worship Sony so hard, you can't even critically think about them having shafted you in the first PS5 side. That's what I realized, and I said, man, these guys are crazy. I drove all the way to another state to buy my PlayStation 5. That's how much of a PlayStation, aficionado I've always been. And I had a gaming PC. But once I thought about it, I was like, what are we even being offered here? I can't play my games unlocked. I mean, the first thing I did when I bought my PS5 was Batman Arkham Knight, Arkham City. I was like, man, where's my 60 FPS? I got to wait for some patch. Whereas on PC, the moment I built my first PC, I fired up that game immediately. I got my performance enhancement without waiting for anybody. The Division 1. I remember building my first PC and the game was running at like 40 FPS. I was like, nah, I want 60 FPS. So I went back on Amazon. I bought me another CPU. I bought me another GPU. Had to move platforms from AMD at the time. AMD was not strong then. And I got Intel. Got a i5 6500. And I got me an RX 480. And I fired it up in 60 FPS. Simply because, that's exactly what the platform offered that console didn't. But I still got a PS5 regardless. And I say to myself, that's the craziest thing that I actually went ahead and did, because I could have just spent that $500 and bought myself something in the 20 series family. But the 20 series were really expensive at the time. So we're back in this sad reality, ladies and gentlemen, where you can't say the truth anymore without somebody just getting straight into their feelings, without taking time to ponder from a cerebral perspective and look at it from a logical perspective and say, okay, what is being said here? Is VG like anti-PlayStation? Is he actually pointing out that there is something lacking with PlayStation's proposition so far? And as he has played on PlayStation for a long time, could it be that there's something that he is seeing as a dissatisfaction and other PlayStation fans are seeing as a dissatisfaction? I think some of these folk are so used to, I don't know what it is. They're so used to everything that they've done being validated. There's been no pushback. That's what it is. And they're just literally living in this land where anything you say is hate. Can you imagine that? Because consoles finally catching up. You just got an upscaler after how many years? DLSS has been a thing on PC for so many years. And you say this. Again, lacking understanding and being willing to actually engage in critical thought. You have now said something that is just so bogus. Can you imagine? This is the problem. You see, PlayStation fans, the hyper PlayStation fans, have lorded every single thing they perceived as an advantage over everybody else, that they can't see themselves being actually the last to show up on the block. That's been the biggest problem. You've been so used to thinking that you were the first in everything because you've lived in a bubble. You didn't know that DLSS is about 6-ish years old. And you finally got yourself one upscaler, and the world is no longer going to hear anything else. There's been upscalers from even Intel. Like, Intel got an upscaler before y'all did. And you guys are so... Oh, I don't know, bro. See, y'all will heal and y'all will learn. And because God willing, I'm here to keep making these videos and pointing this stuff out. Because if we do not, man, this entitlement that a lot of my fellow PlayStation fans have, it's so amazing. It's quite fantastical to see that, they will come up with the conclusions that they come up with, especially for things that are just like, it's not novel, man. Have y'all ever been in a situation where, you own something, something, you've experienced something and somebody is experiencing for the first time and, you're happy for them, but then you find out that they're basically in a position where they want to brag about it and make everybody else feel inferior while you're just sitting there looking and saying, why is what you're, experiencing so special? This is what most PlayStation hyper fans do. This is what y'all do. And even I myself as a PlayStation player, someone who's played on PlayStation for a very long time, I have to look and say, man, this is weird and this is quite damning. No one ever talked to PlayStation about upscalers for years. Did you ever hear it? Did many of you even know what they were? No, nothing until the PS5 came out and AMD updated its, upscaling with FSR. But there's been DLSS and then Intel got XeSS. They've always been there. They've been using dynamic resolution even before upscalers came into the, party. Now that PISR is now a thing, we're no longer going to hear anything else. This has got to be the biggest prank that PlayStation has played on some of the minds of y'all. Y'all need to pretty much figure out a way to to gain a little bit of understanding as to the prank that's being played on you. Because if by now you don't know and your eyes aren't yet open and you still want to stay in your myopic ways, that's fine. But at the end of the day, don't be amazed when people actually point and say, man, this has got to be the biggest joke ever. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.